The Harborview sun looks friendly until it flashes off the bay and the white bottle in Kara's hand and makes everything too bright. Too exposed. She passes the SPF to Landon like it's a little ceremony. And I'm 10 paces away with our daughter's towels and the cooler strap biting my palm. He smiles that selling porches and dreams smile and spreads lotion across her shoulders. Slow and easy. I'm supposed to do something. I adjust my grip and do nothing. We came to Barker Point to give Riley and Ava a final July Saturday before school drills and fall schedules. Driftwood fort. Pink shovel. Collapsible bucket. The Harborview starter kit. Gulls screech over the marina. The breeze tastes like metal and salt. Our friend cluster drifts around us. The way people gather on small-town beaches where everyone knows exactly as much as they want to know, Sloane lounges under a striped umbrella. Sunglasses big enough to hide intentions she probably doesn't bother hiding. She raises 2 fingers in a lazy salute and goes back to her paperback. Back. Please. Kara says to Landon. Casual. Practiced. He obliges. His palms following a path that knows more than I do. I hear the bottle cap snap closed. Sharper than it should be. My ring feels tight. I spin it once. Twice. 10 paces might as well be a canyon. The sound of small girls laughing rides over. Then the hush of a crowd not watching, which is the same as watching with better manners. A blue Tesla sits in the sand lot above the dunes like a sheen of money. It's as on-brand as Landon's smile. He looks down at Kara's shoulder blades, as if he owns an inspection license. Sloane laughs, gift bag, crinkle. Light but pointed. Our circle tilts its faces to books and phones. Then back again. I am 41. I fix machine. When a machine lies, it's because someone taught it to. Humans do it for sport. Riley is 15 and reads a room faster than I read a server log. She glances from Landon's hands to my face and back to her sister's sand castle. Ava is 10 and still believes a moat can stop a tide. She hums while carving channels with perfect seriousness. Both daughters under the same sun, one chooses silence to protect me. The other innocence without knowing it. I put on a smile that fits badly and carries like static across an empty auditorium. You're staring, Kara says over her shoulder. Half turning. Soft tone. Scratchy edge. You could have offered. The words land like grit under a contact lens. I glance at the Tesla again and imagine its backup camera catching what my eyes have been refusing to log for months' practice. Ease. A pattern of touch. My stomach goes cold. I think about the front door back home and how the deadbolt slides home with a small, exact sound. I check the time. Harborview to Portland is 4.5 hours along a coastline that looks like it's never agreed to be owned by anybody. If we leave now, we make it before midnight. I picture our kitchen clock blinking 1158. The ceramic dish by the office monitor where I throw USB thumb drives and house keys. The bowl Riley made in art class that's lopsided and perfect. I want those objects more than I want whatever this is on the sand. I'm taking the girls back tonight. I say, to the wind as much as to anyone. It's enough. The air goes still. Kara rotates fully now. Landon's hand lingers like a signature he forgot to lift from the page. Sloane tilts her head. Interest sharpened. Like the start of a headline. Don't be ridiculous. Cara says, we planned this. She mentions Riley's soccer clinic. Off by 5 days. On brand for trying to keep me in place with a calendar. Schedules used to be how you kept me safe. Today, they feel like handcuffs that don't work anymore. Riley says the correct date without looking up. Ava asks if we brought string for the fort roof. The question is both ordinary and accusatory. Did I bring enough to hold things together? I nod at Riley and Ava. 1 hour. I tell them, my voice surprises me. It sounds like I've been rehearsing. Maybe I have somewhere under the noise. At 3 a.m. When I stare at the kitchen light halo and practice leaving in my head, the hotel air conditioner wheezes cool breath while I fold swimsuits and stack sunscreen. The carpet smells like detergent and summer endings. Riley leans in the doorway. Arms crossed. Calm as a bouncer. Is this because of what happened? She keeps what happened non-specific. She's careful like that. We're sleeping in our own beds. I say, it's true and insufficient. Ava ricochets on the mattress with the simple faith that gravity will always win. I trace the route on my phone. The blue line threads through towns that will never remember me. I scribble a note on hotel stationery and place it near Kara's toiletries because I still label things and I still believe in leaving evidence. The note is short. The note is not a concession. Elevator chime. Lobby lemon cleaner. Coffee gone sour. I check us out. The clerk slides me a receipt with a sympathetic chin dip. Sloan texts twice. I let the bubbles settle into nothing. Outside. The bay throws shards of light. I buckle Ava in. Riley buckles herself and faces the window like she's studying a storm over water and calling it weather. I slide my ring. Then stop. Not yet. Not while the girls can see my hands. We drive. Tires buzz. Trees knit a tunnel. Sunlight flickers like a bad bulb. The road sign for Otter Cliffs flashes by. Riley asks if I'm angry. I tell her I'm thinking. Anger is easy and loud. Thinking is heavy and quiet. It sits in the passenger seat and watches the road. We stop once at a gas station where the bathroom key is leashed to a wooden fish the size of a paddle. I buy Ava dolphin stickers and the kind of soda that stains tongues. I buy Riley gum because she chews when she's planning. I buy nothing for myself. Back in the car. Riley finally says, "You saw the way he touched her. The way the group acted like sunburn prevention is a team sport. The way Sloane's laugh felt aimed." I nod once. She doesn't push. We share the family dialect of omission. I hate that we do. By the time the river lights appear, Ava sleeps. Mouth open. Dolphin sticker on her knee. Riley pretends to. Our neighborhood is quiet in that clipped HOA way trimmed hedges. Trash cans aligned like at-attention soldiers. The front door sticks for a second like it's thinking about letting us in. I carry Ava to bed and tuck her in the way I've done since she was 5. I touch Riley's hair and she rolls onto her side and pretends I never saw her eyes. My office waits the way. Dogs wait when you pick up a leash. I don't sit. I take my ring off and set it in that lopsided blue bowl with white flecks like sea spray. The sound of gold on ceramic is not loud, but it's decisive. The house breathes. I check the locks. Touch each window latch like a ritual. I stand alone in the quiet and let the decision finish arriving. I'm done colluding with appearances. The canyon between 10 paces closes. I move. Sunday breaks damp and silver over Harborview. I cook in a kitchen that still smells like last night's road and hotel soap eggs hissing. Coffee biting the air. Riley leans on the island, studying me the way she studies a goalkeeper before a penalty. Ava counts blueberries into a bowl and announces that even numbers taste luckier. The ring sits where I left it. In the lopsided blue bowl by the office doorway. A coin. I'm done spending. At 9:00 a.m. The doorbell throws its bright chime. I don't rush. The peephole gives me Sloane Whitaker in a rain shell that would survive a hurricane. Fog beads on her lenses. I crack the door. Chain across. She smiles like a realtor showing a view. Noah. Quite an exit yesterday. I drove my kids home. People are asking questions. In Harborview, I let it hang. Down the street. Mrs. Dalton trims roses like she's eavesdropping through petals. I slide the door shut and feed the chain home. The click is small and satisfying. Boundary 1. Installed. I change the locks before lunch. Riley hands me the new deadbolt, like a scrub nurse. Precise. Unsentimental. Ava labels the keys with sticker star for me. Rainbow for Riley. Dolphin for Grandma's spare. The old bolt drops into the trash with the soft clunk of something that can't hurt you anymore. When the new plate seats flush, I test the throw and feel my chest release a notch. Houses are only as safe as their edges. At 2:12 p.m., I sit at the family desktop in the kitchen. That neutral machine where homework and recipes share a browser, the screen wakes into an email account that isn't mine. It shouldn't be open. I breathe. Once for the part of me that wants to slam the lid. Twice for the part that knows silence protects the wrong people. Folders personal. Finances. The cursor is a throat clearing. I open personal. The thread is exactly what I feared, something that began with need to talk and matured into a pattern of coordination and secrecy. Names. Times. A tone that assumes privacy like oxygen, I don't read the worst parts. I don't need proof of adjectives, I need proof of actions. I forward representative messages to my own account with a subject line that would make a judge smile, selected correspondence. Relevant dates, I log out. Then log in as me. Because procedure matters when people start throwing words like intrusion around. Finances lands like a wet tarp. Screenshots from a trading app. A guaranteed return pitch that isn't guaranteed anything but shame. Transfers from the joint account that never appeared in conversation. The total sits there. Heavy and exact, $25. 0 inches the red. That number isn't theoretical. It's braces and roof shingles and emergency repairs I haven't met yet. The rubber spatula on the counter smells faintly of vanilla, Ava baked yesterday. The room is kind. The math isn't. I call Dave at 3. He answers like a man stepping onto ice. Linda mumbles in the background. I don't grill him. I ask for a time frame. He gives me 1 month's. A shape. Not a blip. He says he thought I knew. Everyone always thinks you know until you prove you didn't. Thanks. I say, and mean it poorly. At 440, I text Mrs. Dalton, 2 houses down because she is a broadcast tower wrapped in cardigans. Rough weekend. Hard on the girls. Kara's with Sloan for now. Landon's around, trying to keep things quiet for Riley and Ava. I send nothing else. In Harborview, the absence of adjectives is enough. The recipients supply their own. Kara calls at 5. You changed the locks. I did. You can't. The deed says I can. We'll make a schedule for your things. I keep my tone level because Riley and Ava are at the table with markers. Making a custody calendar like it's art. Kara's voice sharpens to courtroom pitch. When that fails, she reaches for guilt. I don't pick it up. Text before you come. I say, naming the new rule out loud so it exists. We take milkshakes at Dockside Diner to get out of the blast zone. Syrup and bleach perfume the vinyl. Harborview faces angle. Then swivel away. I order chocolate for Ava. Vanilla for Riley. Black coffee for me. We don't debrief. We lick foam and watch boats turn in their slips like they're deciding whether to stay. I check the lot for a blue Tesla and hate that I'm checking. It isn't there. I feel cheated by the lack of an easy villain. Back home, the house receives us. After bedtime, I build a folder labeled Monday and feed it like a patient machine printed emails, selected bank statements complete. A timeline on clean paper with a left margin full of dates that look like vertebrae. I staple. I clip. I slide everything into a manila jacket that says facts before feelings. I add a receipt from the locksmith. Paper has a weight that screens can't fake. Monday morning. Kara arrives with suitcases and a tone. She bangs on glass long enough for Mrs. Dalton to look up from clipping. I open the door to the length of the chain. Text. I remind her. My clothes. Noah. We'll schedule a pickup when the girls are out. She peeks past me at the blue bowl. Her eyes catch on the ring like a fish on a hook. For a second, the performer drops and the person steps out. Barefaced. Scared. Then the mask returns and she accuses me of making a scene. We live in a small town. I say, scenes make themselves. I'm choosing the lighting. She exhales like I slapped her. I didn't. I hand her a shoebox of toiletries. She takes it like it's heavy. By Thursday night, I've moved from reaction to rhythm. That's when I go to the anchor. Because some truths need witnesses to gather mass. The place smells like Friars and Tide. Neon puddles on the bar like electric rain. The chalkboard hawks ribs. Fishermen lean into jokes that taste like work. I take a two-top and order a beer I'll barely drink. Dave sits for a minute. Eyes carrying apology without the speech. We talk about the high school schedule until his shoulders drop an inch. 2 tables over. Landon Pierce laughs at something a contractor says and claps him on the back with the same familiarity I saw on the beat. The blue Tesla fob twitches under his fingers when he checks a notification. Sloan holds court near the service window. Voice low. Hair, armor, bright, under the pendant lamps. I let the room notice me. Then I let it overhear. Rough transition. I say to Dave. Not loud. Nutke. Kara's at Sloan's. Landon's there most nights. Trying to keep the girls out of it. I sip and say nothing else. The sentence is a skeleton. Harborview will put muscle on it. Sound carries across wood and tile. Eyes bounce. The jukebox changes tracks. Forks pause, mid-air. You can't control the current here. Only decide what boat to push in. I tip and stand. In the parking lot. My phone lights up. Sloan. I let it ring twice. Answer on speaker in the quiet car. What are you doing? Ordering ribs. I say, because I like precision. You're spreading lies. Which part is a lie? Silence. Footsteps. She lowers her voice without meaning to. You're hurting everyone. Truth hurts. I say. Also heals. She hangs up before I can ask which outcome she's chasing. When I get home, the porch wood is still warm from a day that pretended to be summer. I lock the new deadbolt and feel the cylinder seat like a punctuation mark. In the office, I slide the manila folder into my backpack and set it by the door for the morning. Payoff 1 is modest and exact. The house is mine to secure. The narrative is mine to phrase. The evidence is mine to carry. The girls sleep with their windows cracked to the bay, and the chime of someone else's wind bell counts off a future I can finally plan. Keller and Ames smells like glass cleaner and new carpet. Like every conversation here is designed to leave no fingerprints. I ride the elevator up with a man in a navy suit who nods and studies my reflection instead of my face. My pulse taps time against the manila folder under my arm. I rehearse sentences with no adjectives. Adjectives are for gossip. Nouns and dates are for rooms with long tables. The conference room looks out over Harborview Bay. Rain threads the window in thin verticals, turning boats into watercolor. Kara sits straight in a slate blazer. Legal pad aligned to the placemat as if order could erase cause. Graham Keller enters with choreographed warmth and sets a bottle of water in front of me like hospitality is leverage. The succulents in the center of the table are too green to be trusted. We appreciate you coming in. Mr. Delaney. Kayla says, choosing the formality on purpose. Let's keep things measured. I like measured. I say, and set the folder down. The paper's weight calms my hands. I don't like vague. Kara's mouth is a tight line. Noah. I open the folder. I place a printout of selected emails in a neat stack. Subjects. Dime stumps. The clean fonts of office hours spent elsewhere. I lay down bank statements with red summaries. Transfers from the joint account into an app that promised magic and delivered subtraction. On top, a timeline in 12-point that clicks from March to July like a metronome. The air shifts. Keller doesn't reach for the papers. He lets me push them halfway, then pulls them under his side with 2 fingers. Careful not to smudge the future. He reads quickly. The way people read when they've guessed the shape and are just looking for edges. This is specific, he says. It's accurate. I keep my voice low. I want an uncontested divorce. Joint legal custody. Primary residence with me. Restitution of $25 to the household account on a schedule we can live with. No claim on the house. No theatrics at school or my office. I let the list finish and sit. My chair creaks. The only sound that admits to nerves, Chara's pen taps once. Betrays her. Stills. She starts a sentence about context that trails into the rain. I don't read the emails aloud. I don't have to. The point isn't humiliation, it's clarity. I slide one more sheet across email headers with device IDs. Some of this used firm resources. I say, I am not filing a complaint today. I wait until Keller looks up. Today, Keller exhales like he's remembering his own divorce. Our preference is to resolve privately, he says, and glances at Kara with a lawyer's version of empathy scalable. Billable. We can draft terms reflecting these points. Good. I close the folder halfway. Not dismissing it. Just reminding everyone it still exists. One more thing. I keep my tone conversational, as if we're choosing a caterer. Landon spends most Tuesday nights at Sloan's place. You should know the triangle you're defending is actually a square. Kayla goes very still. The room's soundscape narrows to the soft scratch of rain against glass. Kara blinks like someone pulled a rug she didn't realize she was standing on. What she manages it without cracking. But only just, I'm not angry. I say, which is partly true in this moment. I'm informed. My goal is stability for Riley and Ava. I watch her face run through lanes: denial, calculation, insult. She chooses tired. Noah, you're observant. I say. I slide the folder back to my side and latch it. The succulents stare like tiny judges. I thank Keller for his time because civilization is part of the leverage. He thanks me back because optics are his oxygen. When I walk out, I leave the room quieter than I found it. The power shifted without anyone raising a voice. That's the midpoint, the fulcrum you don't see until you're on the other side. At home, the house smells like toast and pencil shavings. Riley has arranged 2 bowls of cereal and sits with a spreadsheet face. Well, she says, I made a list. They agreed to write it down. She nods as if we're teammates in a project sprint and slides me the good spoon. Ava bursts in to ask if sea lions clap because they're happy or because trainers ask nicely. Both, I say, and Riley smiles without letting me see it land. Evening brings the Harborview Arts benefit, the one event Kara was never going to miss. Last week, I planned to avoid it. Tonight, I knot a borrowed tie and go anyway. Riley suggested it. Voice casual. Eyes not. Show up, she'd said. A tactical whisper. Looking bored. She's 15 and understands optics like she invented them. The country club smells like roses and money and the kind of wine that tells you what vineyard it came from without being asked. The chandelier throws a soft glow that forgives wrinkles but not intent. I take the perimeter route, greet the board chair. Shake hands with a teacher. Nod at the harbor master. My lines are simple and true. The girls are my focus. We're working things out properly. I never add an adverb. Across the room, Kara stands in a black dress that frames competence. Landon horse near her elbow. Grin set to default charm. Sloane finishes a story at the silent auction table and laughs that curated laugh I heard on the beach. The 3 of them look like a diagram labeled Optics Under Stress. Margie, the foundation president, stops me near the dessert display. She's Harborview royalty and knows exactly how fast a rumor crosses the marina. Noah, she says. Sympathy, polished, smooth. Brave of you to come. I support the arts, I say, and nod toward the stage, as if the music pulled me here. She leans in. Whisper soft. I hear Kara is with Sloane. That can't be easy. I sip my seltzer. We're keeping the girls out of it. She nods. Then adds, unprompted Landon seems to be there a lot. She waits for denial. I give her silence. She receives permission to repeat what she believes she discovered. The social machine changes gear without my touch. This is payoff too. Beginning the rule of the room tilts toward me because I didn't force it. Sloane finds me by the coat check, where the lighting is honest and the carpet dull. She does not waste time. We need to step outside. We can talk here. I keep my back to the wall and my voice even. You're suggesting she doesn't finish because finishing would admit a premise. You're damaging my reputation. I described living arrangements to someone who asked about the girls. I say, true facts are not slander. I take out my phone, tilt the screen, and show a single photo blue Tesla angled across her driveway. Tuesday. 11:08 p.m. Timestamp at the top. Streetlight carving a white line on the hood. I don't hand the phone over. I let the image exist between us for 3 beats. The band starts something jazzy in the ballroom. Out here, the air goes thin. Her face drains to the color of printer paper. How long have you? Long enough to choose the kindest path, I say, which is evidence in a folder and civil terms on a desk. She swallows. Looks over my shoulder like the room might change if she stares hard enough. Then walks away on legs that forgot their script. I move through the gala like a ghost with a good tie. People glance, turn toward me with polite condolences, and adjust their sympathies mid-sentence without knowing why. Kara catches my eye once from across a cluster of donors. There's a question in her face. I can't answer from here. Did you know about Tuesdays? I hold her gaze and don't blink. She looks away first. I leave early. The night tastes like wet cedar and sea salt. On the drive home, I roll the window down and let Harborview air scrape the tuck starch off my skin. In the mirror, I look like a man who learned to stop narrating and start documenting. The midpoint doesn't feel like victory. It feels like moving the weight from one hand to the other and realizing I can still walk. Back in the kitchen. I set the manila folder on the counter and touch the lock once. An old habit behaving like prayer. My phone vibrates a text from Keller. We'll have draft terms by Wednesday. Another from an unknown number that resolves to a board member. Good to see you tonight. Your daughters are lucky. I don't screenshot either. I don't need trophies. I need signatures. Riley pads in for water. Hair messy from studying. You look bored, she says. Approving. Good. She sees the folder and taps it with the side of her glass. Next, she asks. Next. We keep it clean. I say. She nods, accepts that as a battle plan, and goes back upstairs. Ava snores lightly in her room. The sound of a kid who still believes doors do what they promise. The rain keeps up against the window. I turn the deadbolt and listen to the cylinder seat. Small sound. Big shift. I'm not louder than them. I'm just more exact. Monday starts with fog thick enough to touch. I brew coffee. The smell sharp and bitter. And stare through the kitchen window at the world dissolving into white. The kettle's hiss covers the vibration of my phone until it's nearly boiling over. By the time I check, it's already there, Kara, 347A. M. Meet. Lake House. Noon. 3 words. 1 location. No. Punctuation. A command disguised as a request. Riley sits at the table. Hoodie pulled up. Spoon tapping against her cereal bowl like a metronome. You going, she asks. Seems I am. I say, but not empty-handed. The manila folder sits on the counter. Thicker now emails. Statements. Photos. The timeline refined to bulletproof. She looks at it and nods like a co-conspirator. Ava shuffles in. Hair wild. Still halfway in her dreams. She asks if dolphins sleep with one eye open. They do. I say, so they can see what's coming. Riley smiles. Quick and grim. At 11. I drop them at my mother's house in St. John's. She's elbow deep in bread dough. The kitchen warm with yeast and tomato sauce. Dinner's at 6. She says. Voice even. Translation come back in one piece. I kiss her cheek. Promise I'll be home. And drive out toward the lake. The road narrows. Cedar crowding closer. The lake house emerges from the trees. The same gray-blue siding we painted the summer. Riley turned 10. When things still worked, now it looks smaller, sagging under the weight of everything that's happened. 3 cars are parked crooked in the gravel Kara's sedan. Sloane's white SUV. Landon's unmistakable blue Tesla. Come alone, she said. So much for that. I step out into the damp air. The smell of algae and rain. My shoes crunch on the wet gravel. For a second, I just listen, the wind threading through the pines. The faint slap of water against the dock. The lake always did sound like someone breathing slowly to stay calm. Kara opens the door before I knock. No makeup. Eyes remedread. Wearing an old sweatshirt of mine she used to sleep in. It doesn't soften me. You brought it, she says, nodding at the folder. I don't go anywhere without context. The living room is dim and tense. Sloane sits on the couch, hands clasped too tight. Landon leans against the fireplace, pretending to own the place. The air smells of scented candle and mildew. They've been here a while. Rehearsing. Let's start, I say, taking the chair opposite them. The one that groans when you sit-fitting soundtrack for what's left of our marriage. Cara exalis. We can fix this. Noah. Define this. Her voice wobbles between lawyer and wife. Everything. If you just stop. I'm not stopping. I'm setting terms. I open the folder and pull out a single sheet. Reading it like minutes from a meeting. Un contested divorce. Joint legal custody. Primary residence with me. Restitution of the $25,000 to our joint account within 6 months. No claim on the house. No appearances at the girls' school or my office without notice. Landon snorts, folding his arms. You think you can dictate? I look up. I can document. The word lands heavy, and if Keller doesn't finalize it, the Bar Association gets a package Monday. Evidence of emails sent on firm devices. Attachments. Timestamps. The works. Sloane's breath catches. Kara stares at me. Jaw tightening. You wouldn't. Kara. I fix systems. I don't bluff about integrity. The silence stretches. The clock ticks once too loudly. Then I add, Calm and Landon, stay away from my family. That includes Harborview High, the soccer fields, the grocery store, my mother's street. You come near them, I'll treat it as harassment. I'll involve the police. He laughs short. Defensive. You can't stop me from living my life. Harborview's small. I say, pick another direction. Kara leans forward. Voice cracking. You're going to ruin everything. I didn't start the ruin. I say, I'm just putting labels on the wreckage. Her shoulders sag. Eyes wet. For a heartbeat. She's the woman I married, the one who fell asleep on legal briefs and woke up asking if we had coffee. Then she looks at Sloane, searching for backup. Sloane looks at the floor. Tell him. Kara whispers. Tell him it's not like that. Sloane doesn't move. It's complicated. Complicated, I echo. You both used that word when you ran out of lies. Landon shifts his weight. Don't drag her into this. She dragged herself. I say, and reach into the folder without opening it. The gesture alone enough to quiet the room. I don't need to read the messages. Everyone here knows their contents. The sound of rain on the roof fills the gap that follows. It's steady, relentless like the truth when it finally starts talking. Kara rubs her temples. Please. Noah, don't destroy my career. I'm not here to destroy. I'm here to protect. The girls. The house. What's left of my name. I close the folder and set it beside me. Sign what Keller drafts, and this stays between us. Ignore it. And I go public legally. Not loudly. Sloane looks up at that, fear flickering behind her eyes. You wouldn't go to the bar. I would send documentation to their ethics office. That's not vengeance. That's accountability. For a long time, no one speaks. Landon finally mutters something about lawyers and walks out onto the porch, slamming the screen door hard enough to make dust fall from the beams. Sloane follows, half crying, half cursing. Kara stays seated, staring at the folder like it's a detonator she can't defuse. I stand. I'll give Keller until Friday to confirm acceptance. After that, I escalate. Don't text. Don't show up. Don't spin. You'll get your share of peace if you stop trying to rewrite history. Her voice drops to almost nothing. You hate me. I don't. I say, if I did, I'd let you keep lying. She closes her eyes. That's the first true reaction I've seen in months. I pick up the folder. The leather of the chair sighing as I leave it. Outside, the rain smells like pine, sap, and rust. The porch boards creak under my shoes, the same ones we sanded together years ago. Behind me, the door clicks shut. Not slammed. Not locked. Just done. On the drive back, the fog lifts in patches. My phone buzzes with a new message from Riley. We're fine. Be smart. I laugh. One short bark of disbelief and pride. For the first time in months, my hands stop shaking on the wheel. The lake recedes behind me in the rearview mirror. A dark mirror that finally stops reflecting the past. I don't feel triumphant. I feel clean. Friday arrives bright and cruelly clear. The kind of day Harborview uses to gossip in full sunlight. Keller's email hits at 9:07 a.m. 3 PDFs. All unsigned. Kara wants amendments. Of course she does. Control is the last thing she'll surrender. I reply with a single line, terms remain as stated. Then I close the laptop and let the day unfold. By evening, the annual Harborview Arts Benefit glows across the marina like a lantern for people who want to be seen caring. Riley's idea again. Show up. Look calm. Stay 3 steps ahead. She texts me a thumbs-up emoji as I knot my tie. She and Ava are with my mother, watching old cartoons. The house smells of popcorn and safety. The country club parking lot hums with conversation. Music leaks from the ballroom, violins over polite laughter. I walk in and let the eyes land the betrayed husband. In a gray suit. Not hiding. It's strange how silence can move faster than scandal. By the time I reach the drink table, 3 couples have already paused mid-sentence. Perfect. Kara stands near the stage, immaculate, in navy silk, pretending she belongs to a better story. Landon hovers behind her, smile tight. Tesla key fidgeting in his palm. Sloane lurks at the edge of the crowd. A ghost in cream. The triangle that tried to bury me now forms its own corner. Boxed by spotlight, I talk to donors, shake hands with the mayor, and let curiosity work like oxygen. The girls are doing well. I tell whoever asks. Kara's focusing on her transition. No adjectives. No lies. Within 10 minutes, the phrasing begins to loop back from strangers' mouths. Polished with new speculation, Sloane catches me at the silent auction table. You couldn't leave it alone. Could you? Her voice trembles just enough to draw glances. Truth has momentum. I say, I only started the role. You've destroyed her reputation. No. I correct. She did. I archived it. Her mouth opens, closes. The band starts another song. Across the room, Keller appears, nodding to me a tiny, lawyerly acknowledgement. Kara follows his line of sight, realizes the conversation she feared has already happened. She turns on Landon. Words sharp even through the music. He gestures helplessly. The Tesla fob flashing blue like a warning light. People notice. Phone is tilt for photos. Harborview will not miss a beat. I step outside before anyone can claim I staged it. The evening air smells of salt and lilacs. My phone buzzes again, Keller. Signed. Effective immediately. Just like that. The 20-year knot unties itself in pixels. I forward the message to my personal archive and delete it from the main screen. A door closing sounds best when it's quiet. Back home. The girls wait up with ice cream bowls and questions. I tell them we're officially starting fresh. Riley nods. Businesslike. Ava claps once. Sticky-fingered. We make sundaes at the counter. Chocolate syrup tracing loops like signatures. The ring bowl still sits by the doorway. Holding nothing now but keys. Later, after they're asleep, I step out onto the porch. The bay glints under a thin moon. Somewhere across town, the gossip engine hums new stories blooming like algae. But this one ends here. I've done what I said, no illegal moves. No violence. Just precision and patience. Kara will keep her job. Barely. Sloane will keep her followers. Fewer. Landon will keep his smile. Practiced and brittle, and I'll keep the house. The girls. And the quiet. When I finally turn the lock, the click feels final, not defensive. Inside, the folder lies in the drawer where it belongs. Documentation of how truth, once printed, stops being fragile. I pour one last cup of cold coffee, raise it to the dark window, and whisper the closing line of every Harborview story. Actions have consequences. Then I finish the cup and go to bed. Thank you for listening to today's stories. If you enjoyed listening, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, leave a comment below to share your thoughts on what happened. Take care.